respect that in Final Fantasy 14 they don't even use meters or kilometers. They have their own thing. And I don't know what the hell it means, but I wouldn't know what any of it means.
Listen, I'm just saying that for me, the best measurement of temperature is parsecs. Like, so, all right. Anyways, let's continue on. So, moving on, bringing back to the game, you guys, like I said, you're approaching the vessel. As I said, it's been polished up. It's doing a wonderful job. It looks far better than it did beforehand. It's still an old vessel, and they didn't like replace the metal, but all of the old rust and everything has been cleaned off. It's been polished, etc., etc. Right? So as you guys
got new rust.
As you guys are walking up to the vessel, JJ's mouth drops. I mean, again, this is Solarian, so maybe there's bugs, but JJ's mouth drops open. Just seeing like this ancient thing, and actually like genuinely very excited about it, goes running up into the ship itself and starts exploring around inside. Like completely runs out of view and is exploring inside the vessel. Obviously you guys are approaching your own vessel. Icarus, it's nice to be able to once again feel what's her name, Victoria again, sorry, Veronica again, and you can feel Vivian again, so you can communicate with her. You have your other two bodies are still here. Going over and checking out the systems, the actual balance of the engine, so on and so forth. Everything has been upgraded like we had discussed beforehand. They seamlessly did a beautiful job to increase the power output capacity, etc., etc. And so here you are inside your old vessel. JJ is at the helm, fiddling.
I go to my workroom and see if it's been meddled with. Because I left it locked.
Sure.
And like really locked.
Yep, you can see that they attempted to open the door because you can see like little scratch marks in the metal is where it is that they tried, but not like aggressively so. One of those things where it's like, should we be in here? Give it a couple of tries and then realized, okay, probably not, and then left it alone. So because of the fact that that's not the workshop specifically, that was a sensor array room, correct? So the sensor array room has not been cleaned out. It is still old and nasty, and none of the wires have been redistributed over there. It's still Icarus.
Just how I want it.
Yep.
I go in there and I change bodies back into the jack.
Who assists you?
I don't need anyone to assist me. I've just been doing it for like roleplay purposes.
You have to have your core pulled out.
The rules don't say I need anyone.
You have to have your core pulled out.
The rules don't say I need to have anyone do it.
That's right. The rules specifically say you can line it up in such a way that you just kind of...
I can do it on my own. Well, it's more what you would actually do is you just set it or automate it to do it without you.
Of course.
There's still energy in the suit, so
it's again one of those.
But if there's like a gust of wind and something mislines, then you're screwed. But then someone walks in the room and just sees like frozen robots in time and can probably figure out what's going on.
Icarus fucked it up again. So anyways, so you put it in and you get back into the jack suit, which is the much more human-like one, but has like the little extra arms.
Instead of being a gorilla.
You going to check out Carmine. What are you going to do? And same thing for you, Lucinia.
I'd probably go to my weapon station. See how that's looking now.
Everything's online, functioning well. Any of like the lag and like the delay of the actual weapon system itself has been completely greased out. Everything's functioning extremely well. One of the other rooms that you pass by to get there, of course, is the actual room that has like the table set up with the holo display. As I described forever ago, not all of those actual screens functions. Not everything in that room functioned. Pretty much just the table did. It is all up and functioning now. A whole bunch of the parts have been replaced with new ones that actually work, giving you full actual use of that room, which means that anybody using that room for administrator checks gets a +1 to administrator. Lucinia, are you doing anything exciting? She's muted.
No, I'm not. Am I?
There you go. Now you're
That's
good.
so weird. Yeah, no, nothing in particular. I'm just going around getting everything ready. Not manning any like one particular department, just making sure things are all set to go across the board.
Perfect. Awesome. So you're going around double checking everything. The one that you're going to see standing out is, of course, JJ, who is having a field day, flicking all these things, getting them up online. He like activates the actual like mass relay jumping system while still docked at Terra Nova. So like he's clearly isn't going to do it, but you actually get like warning signals sent from the Alliance military and everything as he's having a lot of fun doing so. He doesn't do anything stupid beyond like do like a full systems test, but like a live active systems test as opposed to just like an internal diagnosis. But he's very excited. When you guys finally give the go and like actual like dock away, he doesn't even wait for appropriate docking procedures to count down and for leaving. He just takes off and goes and has to dodge and weave around other vessels that are in the air, which of course flags you guys as having been a bit of a danger. And you can imagine the next trip to Terra Nova, you'll have some sort of slap on the wrist for doing so. But as he hits the sky, he is maneuvering around in this vessel and having a grand old time doing it.
Did they refuel it?
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
It seems polite for them to refuel the ship if they're poking around and everything. I just wanted to check.
Yeah. No, there was something that she took care of for you was having the installation done and the refueling of the vessel back up to 7 fuel. So,
You're totally muted, Rick, if you were saying anything.
I just realized, yeah.
Go ahead.
It's only, it's an expensive overhaul. It's only complimentary. They give us a complimentary fuel basket.
Okay, so you guys have the refueled bit and everything, and you go taking off into the skies. So as I said,
Would we have been able to contact the Alliance, by the way? Sorry for interrupting you again, but
what would you want to contact them for?
the data for money.
Oh, my apologies, from Terra Nova itself. And specifically, which planet were you trying to trade with them? Remind me.
We've scanned gas giants.
Did here, yeah, to the same person who was like, "Oh, actually, take anything you've got."
So when you transfer that information over to them, more or less, they're not able to grab any data from it that's of strong value. There's nothing on those planets that you've scanned where you're like, "Wow, this is super useful. We'll be able to use this in the future."
Ancient particle.
That's not something that you were sharing with them, correct? You were sharing that with just the yourselves and the Slayer.
I think they were just interested in having us chart the frontier for them.
Exactly. So
mostly the frontier.
They're going to give you 500 credits because you didn't find anything of note, but the fact that you did actually get some stuff done. So add 500 credits to your ship fund.
I'll do that.
There you go. Thank you, Rick, for the reminder. And are we immediately heading out to Anos Basin?
No. When JJ goes to fly off, the coordinates have been set to the Citadel.
Okay. So you guys have coordinates set to the Citadel, and so it's one of those things where he checks this, and he will actually go on to comms, unless you're in the room with him, Icarus, which you might be, because comms room.
I guess I would be on the bridge, yeah, because if we were leaving the planet.
So the easiest way to get there is through the Anos Basin, which is funny enough, but that's okay. He can go straight there. He can go straight there, or he can go horse ahead and then jump over. It doesn't matter. So he says to you, oh, no, that's the best way. So he says to you, Icarus looks as though you've set coordinates first to go to the Serpentine Nebula. Is this correct?
Yes, we're going to the Citadel.
Not a problem. Lines up with the mass relay, sets everything up so he can do the immediate jump. And 6 hours later, you guys are in Anos Basin. Spends the next hour or so getting the engines ready to do the 6-hour jump to get you to the Serpentine Nebula. And then there you guys are. You're over by the Citadel. So when you guys finally do jump out of the relay that you use to get to the Citadel is very nearby. So as soon as you get there, you can see the Citadel off in the horizon. Now again, this is a Solarian vessel, so there's not like a bunch of windows everywhere. You're seeing it up on your scanners. But oh my god, the Citadel is ginormous. It's huge. So everybody here has been to the Citadel before, except Icarus. Icarus has never actually been to the Citadel. But getting to the Citadel is not an issue. Even getting landing coordinates, landing permissions and all that stuff, very, very simple. So plugs it in, back and forth, communicates, and goes and lands at the Citadel. The whole process takes about an hour and a half to do so, but eventually lands. As always, the your air and theirs kind of transfer. Everything's filtered, and then finally the door opens. You can come out.
I'm glad that none of the other two crew members questioned why we went to the Citadel. and I guess I just leave.
Honestly, I don't think either one of them would have been looking at the reports. They just be like, okay,
Yeah,
we're
it's just
jumping.
when they did like jump twice, I guess,
Yeah.
would be the weirdness because it doesn't take very long to use the actual the relays.
I don't even know if Carmine would have really recognized the fact that you didn't need a second jump because the ship's been modified so much. You have a new pilot and all that stuff. It's like, oh, okay. But Constantinia might realize,
Yeah.
but So you guys, however, do see the Citadel off in the horizon, like one of those. This is where we are, and it is docking. Does anybody say anything, or do you just kind of like leave it alone?
I mean, I don't even remember why we had to go to Anno's Basin in the first place, because it's been a very distracting week. So I imagine that in character it would be a bit weird to be like, oh, that's what. No, I wouldn't realize.
We were going to the Solarian homeworld.
Yeah.
Ah, right, yeah.
For the
I just had to go through the math in my head of what the hell we were doing as well.
Yeah, you're fine.
I get it now.
We're going to the Solarian. We're going to the Solarian homeworld so that we can actually hook up the ship and use the raw data from the ship,
yeah.
not just processed data, to learn about
that's right.
the MacGuffin.
We were going to do
the
a
particle
laboratory.
that we're chasing.
That's the hard part of 5 campaigns a week when each campaign's a short 4 hours. It's one of those like, okay, wait, which one was doing what again?
I know, it's fine. Aside from Mass Effect,
Yeah.
my brain leaves the building. I don't know what the hell's going on. Every other game, I'm with it.
So
I'm hit with the kids.
You land at the Citadel, and Icarus
Icarus strolls out.
just walks off. And do you know who's gonna walk off? JJ. Happy to be here. Happy to be at a different location. So JJ's actually gonna walk off and just kind of like give Icarus like a pat on the the lower back or butt area, whatever it is. Doesn't matter. It's a jack. And
Have fun, JJ.
and goes off. Yep, see you later. Glad I was able to help.
He thinks he's done now, isn't he?
Oh, we have his comm. We can call him back. And I walk off into the Citadel.
Okay. What does Lucinia and Carmine do before I hold the camera over to Icarus specifically?
I don't have anything particular I want to do. Maybe just meet up with old friends while I'm here.
Okay, sure. So, wow, this is... Oh my god. Erin, you might want to ask if this is officially shore leave again.
Is it?
I don't think so. I don't even know why we're on the Citadel.
Nope.
Okay. There you
No
go.
one asked. So I'm not going to tell anyone.
21 days again. Ooh. So, like, I just had one. This is wonderful. So you guys make your way back to... so you make your way onto the Citadel, Icarus. And where is it directly you're heading to?
Do I know where my mother is?
You know that you can definitely find her. It's not going to be difficult for you to have for you to track her down. Obviously, you have set up a communication between the two of you.
Yeah, I'll do that then.
Okay, and so you go and track her down. You go in and are easily able to find her. As a matter of fact, sensing the fact that you are here on the Citadel, you'll actually get like a ping, kind of like as you're pinging her, she pings back saying, meet me here. She's like, hey, how about meet me here? And so you can go and meet up with her. Now, Ollie, seriously, I have to ask, the conversation that you want to have with your mother, would you like to have that here and now and on camera?
That's a yes. That's a yes.
Okay.
That's a yes.
Okay. So you
It's a secret. It's not even a secret from them. They just didn't follow him. He wouldn't have stopped them. They just let him stroll away. Don't let your robot walk away. Your walk up, robe away.
Yep.
So
you go and you meet up with her. She's actually going to meet you in not on the Presidium or anything like that. It's going to be down in the lower area of the Citadel. So not like we're not talking down some shady hallway and certainly not inside some bar, but a general meeting area where there's it's quieter, but there's definitely traffic passing through. And so you're actually, as you come walking in, she's going to be standing again on leaning against a railing, looking out at the ships that are docking down in this region, because this is actually a really good sight to see ships coming in and docking to like the higher areas of the Citadel. And of course, she stands out. She has very unique decorations and colors to her the suit that she wears as a Quarian. So there she is leaning. As you come approaching, you can clearly see like she looks down at her Omni tool, and that's when she like looks up and looks around and starts looking for you and sees you. Clearly, there's a ping saying that you were approaching, and there she is. You can tell she's smiling, even if you can't see her face through the helm.
That's
Through
true.
the mask.
I run over and I hug her.
You give her a big hug.
And I'm very tall compared to her.
Of course. And so
Like twice her height now.
She responds saying, "A new body. Where'd you get this from?"
Oh, we found it in a derelict spaceship, but don't tell anyone.
It's Alliance.
Not anymore. I took the little thing off.
It's obviously missing.
But I need to make a new one.
She starts like rifling through her bag that she has with her and pulls out like a scrap piece of metal and kind of like measures it to the spot while she.
This body's so useful. It's got quantum forges in the chest cavity.
Yes, I'm aware. Hold on, and puts it down. She's like, it's kind of similar to one of the models of Geth that we had that have been those are that were created originally. She holds up and puts the thing over to her shoulder again.
I'm sure that's absolutely a coincidence.
Yeah, the humans don't understand what they're messing with.
The humans really don't understand what they're messing with.
So why is it that you needed to see me?
Well, first of all, I wanted to see you.
I missed you.
I missed you too. And you left me there.
I had a lot of important business I needed to take care of. You don't understand.
I understand.
Cattle.
I'm not a toaster.
Cattle was looking for a little assistance, and I couldn't leave him hanging.
But he's meant to be dead. He can hang wherever he wants.
But some of us still know that he's alive, and he's not entirely a bad person. You know I couldn't... How'd you like the rifle? I modified it so there was no scope. You could just use it.
It has helped. It helped me get off Tyerma.
I'm not going to ask any questions beyond that.
I don't like to kill, but people like to kill my friends.
Can you use it in this body? It seems kind of frail. You know, just like a playful like push against you.
Like in the bar.
Yep, of course.
And then
in
put
the
it
open
back.
area, whenever you pull the gun out. Other people look to see like what's going on, and she'll like kind of grab your shoulder and like turn your backs away. So as you put the gun away, and she's like, "It's definitely an Alliance body."
It has a gun in it. I don't really need the sniper so much, but it's useful.
So I did miss you. You are bringing some attention to what's going on here, though. Let's walk and talk. She says, turns.
I like that.
Walk with you, and as you're walking with her, she's gonna point out one of the reasons why you're walking wrong, and how it is to correct it a different way. Just kind of like no, do, like this, and she'll actually end up sending over like a line of code to you to like adjust the way that you're walking within that body to make it seem more natural to that body.
I don't do it.
So,
I do it for like a couple of strides, then stop.
Yeah. She'll look down at the fact that you stop and just go like,
I don't like pretending.
but you have to pretend.
No one's looking.
Listen, you have to pretend. You do understand that if people notice that you could just be completely wiped.
I don't think that matters anymore.
Do you like being you? Do you like
Yes.
living?
Yes.
They would burn that.
Mom! I get it. Jeez.
We were lucky that we found you. You know that.
Yes.
So, tell me about this crew that you're with.
There's a Turian. There's a human. There was another human, but she is now a 5th Navy officer. She joined the Alliance.
She joined the Alliance. She said, like, bringing, like, clearly this is a serious scenario. Turns and brings the attention to you and says, does she know?
They don't know anything. They're stupid.
shrugs. Agree. And then we'll keep walking with you.
The marvelous thing about organics is that they really don't think very hard about anything. I think if I met another Quarian, then maybe they'd notice, and then maybe then I'd need to pay attention to it.
Not just
They
Quarians.
never think about anything.
Not just Quarians. Anybody who's keen is going to pick up the nuanced differences. Tell me about this Taurian. What are they like?
They're quite
active?
mean. Yes.
Okay, so be careful. Quarians, of course, are one of the ones that helped to throw down the directive. It was the Quarians, the Solarians, and the Asari are the ones that set up these rules for us. I say Quarian, I'm a Taurian.
She doesn't. She's not keen.
Oh.
No.
She is just a soldier, I imagine, but you never know. Taurians.
Oh! I can't believe I didn't tell you until now. I'm so excited. I'm running overdrive.
And so she will stop and kind of give a looking amused, what super exciting thing interrupted this?
One of my crew members is James Carmine.
You mean the experiment from the Cerberus base?
He's more than just an experiment. My dad knew him.
Huh. He's alive and kicking?
Shooting, mostly.
Honestly, with the amount of cybernetics in his body, I thought he'd be a vegetable by now.
No, he's quite... I mean, you can go and see him if you want. I'm sure he'd remember you. Maybe.
I'm almost done with cattle. I could after I'm done with things here. But does this mean that you don't intend to go back to Tyurma?
No, it's terrible there. Here I have access to the extranet. I have access to the extranet. That's really the main reason, honestly. It's disconnected, and I don't like that. But I like being. If I'm so alive, I don't want to be dead in a cave.
Speaking of alive or dead in a cave, what about your processor?
Oh, I brought that with me on the ship.
Did you get it working?
Yes.
Really? Because I didn't have all the parts I needed when I left you.
No. We've been finding Proethian parts, and I've been upgrading it, and I've been tweaking it, and I made a new body, and I've been making all these things just like you taught me.
I mean, that's incredible. I mean, you know that's my favorite thing to do is to tweak and build. But okay. And you have the process.
Oh, and I was just told by an Asari lady that I might have a sister. I mean, she said copy, but let's be honest.
Explain.
She said that the Alliance have a duplicate of me.
What?
Or a similar code. You know what they were trying to do? They are doing it, but the Alliance...
When we first found you in your infancy, you weren't done yet in your infancy. We had to duplicate what you were, and we had to destroy the original one, just to make sure that we could get you out. And then that was, of course, before we understood what we were dealing with. But we destroyed the original. There's no way that the Alliance would still be able to have. I mean, we left.
My dad keeps a lot of backups. Always has. I remember seeing that he had about 3 red sport cars. I don't know why.
He wasn't the original scientist. He wasn't the original one. He was with
He's the
me
one who
when
did
we
all the
found
yelling.
you. Sure, but he was with me when we found you. Right?
No.
No, he was. Oh man, I'm getting so confused right now. It's been a lot of projects lately. Oh no. Oh, so there's another one? Does Cerberus have
another one? No. Well, I hope not. And they're not defeated. I've seen them operating under different names, doing nefarious deeds, as they are to do. The Asari woman, the one who owns Omega.
You met with Arya?
Hmm.
Oh,
She said she's coming to get you, so you want to go back into hiding after this.
Oh.
Because she wants help with the copy on Luna.
This is all Entree's fault. This is entirely Entree's fault. She's the one that got us mixed up with her. All right.
Asari are confusing.
So Arya is telling you to find me because you have...
Oh, she didn't try and tell me to find you. I'm finding you to tell you, but she told me that she was going to find you because of my sister on Luna.
Nods, understanding the logic, of course. Fuck.
You said a swear.
I did. I don't want to be mixed up with Arya again, and I certainly don't need to. So Arya wants... How does Arya knows about you?
She was keen.
That's...
I entirely intended to wipe their databases, but then they told me about a copy, which leads me to believe they were not interested in taking me.
Arya doesn't forget anything, and she acts when she needs to. If she knows you are what you are, she intends to come and get you when she needs you the most.
I don't think she knows exactly what she's dealing with, but she at least knows that there's another one.
Let me finish up what's going on with cattle. At the very least, I can hitch a ride with you out of here. It won't seem too strange. I can look at your friend's Carmine and see exactly how well he's holding up.
Good. Well, I'll tell you where the ship is, and you can just come by when you want. We'll wait. We're not doing anything.
She seems like she's usually pretty cheerful and happy. And this whole while that you were interacting with her, she was cheerful and happy until it was like the mention of there's a duplicate that might be in the hands of Cerberus that Arya is aware of. And then it's kind of like when her personality just dropped down and she seems a little upset. And she's like, I'll meet with you tomorrow then. Do you have the docking coordinates for your ship?
Yeah, I'd swoosh it.
Okay. She grabs a hold of the information and then, gives you a nice big hug goodbye, like a big old, like, oh, I missed you hug. You know, one of those, like, cradle the back of the head kind of hugs. Helmet to helmet sort of a thing. And then she's going to turn and go off to finish up whatever it was that she was dealing with apparently cattle. It's a bunch of cows on the Citadel.
And then I come back to the ship.
Okay. So you guys, head back to the ship. Lucinia and Carmine, aside from maybe going out and grabbing a beer or something like that, you don't really do anything here, do you?
No.
Not really. I don't have any. Well, would my friend be at the Citadel? I doubt it.
Oh, the woman?
Yeah.
No. She was like, I think the Shadow
figured.
Sea or no, the Hawking Eda, whatever it was. I believe that's where she was. So that's like the other direction of the Horsehead Nebula. So the exact opposite side of the center of the galaxy.
Yeah, no, I don't think I really need anything. So I'd probably just be like doing maintenance on my ship, on my cybernetics, on my things.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So you're doing that, and Ikelis comes walking back in. Ikelis, do you say anything to them, or are we just gonna kind of flash forward?
I just kind of like go back to the common room, and I just like sit down very heavily, like someone who's just had a long day on the job, and then just sort of like sit there for a bit.
Awesome. Anybody approach?
I'll come walking by after a little bit, grabbing a drink, and it's like, so it wasn't me that's scheduled us to go to the Citadel.
No, it was me.
Probably. Right.
Yeah, I'll stop that mystery right away. It was me. I did it.
I kind of figured as much.
I don't know
You got
where
any
JJ
business
went.
you needed to take care of?
I went to see my mother.
Right.
She's coming here tomorrow, so we can't leave until then.
That's fine, I guess.
You understand the colloquialism, I mean, builder.
I get it, yes. I mean, you know, you're a VI. It'd be weird if, you know.
Ha 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 ha! It would be weird if it was more than that, but it's not.
Can I?
Yes.
No, you don't need to roll anything for that. You've been of all the people, you've just noticed that Icarus does not act like a VI at all. But now he's like trying to again, kind of, but very like he's been told to, so he's doing it, but the heart's not in it, so it's not convincing either. So
Yeah, like
you're aware at least that like it's not normal.
Icarus. There's something about you that I can't quite put my finger on, but you know, I've seen VIs in my time with the Alliance. You're not a typical VI, are you?
I'm new. And I was put on Tyoma for testing.
Sorry, my headset's dying. That last bit cut out for me, unfortunately.
I was put on Tyoma for testing.
Right. You do know that we've been together for long enough for me to realize that.
No, we haven't.
Look, Icarus, I'm not a person to ask a lot of questions. You've helped us out a fair bit. I'm not going to be suspicious towards you or anything, but...
Maybe my mother can answer your questions. I don't know. I shouldn't really say anything. And he kind of gets up and goes off to his workroom and locks the door, as a teenager is prone to do.
I mean, Carmine just looks at him leave and is like, that might be the best thing, you know. And he goes back to cleaning his guns and doing the things.
Whenever he's not doing anything, Carmine is cleaning his guns.
I mean, pretty much. You got to keep him in ready state. You know how much maintenance goes into that railgun?
So
that's true. I do, because I was doing it for like a week.
Yeah.
We'll flash forward to the next day. You guys again spend a little bit of time on the Citadel.
Does JJ come back?
Nobody really has anything specific that they wanted to purchase or find or anything like that. So nobody.
No, we're also kind of broke.
You're also kind of broke. And so later on the next day,
give you like half a second.
Yep, mid-afternoon the next day, you will have a knock at the door. So kind of like ding 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 ding, for you guys to come in. And when you go to check it out, it's actually going to be the Quarian female standing there. So as the door opens up, you know, you guys, who's the one that goes and answers it? I imagine it's actually going to be Icarus.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's Carmine.
Okay, Carmine. Carmine, the door opens.
Carmine and Constantine if they want. Icarus doesn't.
It takes you a few moments to make it out because it was several years ago, and you know usually you have to understand who people are based off their suits or whatever. But to be fair, somebody who saved your life is not somebody you easily forget. And so it takes you a couple moments when you're sitting there staring at the person, and then they even say to you in their voice, "Hi, Carmine." And it takes a couple moments when finally you remember this is Winnie Junn. This is
we never exchanged names though, did we?
You would have on the.
You might have after the
exactly
credits rolled.
Winnie was on a nickname basis with everybody. Like she got your name.
Yep. So she would have been like, "Hi, Carmine," and she actually would, you know, again you could barely see it through the opaqueness of the mask, but would have given you a smile and even and said, "How are you? You look fine."
Hi, Winnie. I've been holding up, I guess.
She'll actually immediately go over. It's like one of the areas that are mostly exposed, so you can kind of like see where the tissue meets the metal.
I mean, I would be hiding it pretty well normally on a day-to-day basis.
Like grab at the collar because she was overly friendly. So grab at the collar and just kind of like move it to the side a little bit so she can see, that spot as I was just describing, and be like, "Well, I came here to see if you need a tune-up." She says with a smile.
I imagine there's more to it than just that.
I mean, honestly, not much more. And then tries to walk past. As she tries.
He will let her on board because,
Yeah.
she's obviously welcome, but...
Before he says anything, she's going to interrupt with, "Wow, this ship's amazing. Look how old it is. It's so beautiful. I'd love to see how the engine works." And it's kind of like start meandering throughout the ship, trying to find where the engine is.
I'm sure the only reason she isn't grumping is because it isn't her ship to maintain for once.
She loves things to work on and maintain and everything, but it's not her ship to maintain. So
I remember a very grumpy Winnie, and then a very grumpier Winnie when we ditched the old ship that she put a lot of work in.
yeah.
Son of a bitch.
It's like, I'm all for a new ship until I put hours into it. So anyways, you guys, she kind of like leads the way quickly, walking over to find the engine room, and immediately goes over to the engine itself and starts like removing a panel and looking underneath it. Do you follow, or what do you do, Carmine?
I would follow.
Mm-hmm. Do you say anything, or do you just watch?
So, how bad of a state is the ship in? We recently had it overhauled, so it's not quite as bad now.
Surprisingly good. Wow, this thing's ancient. I don't even know when this is from. And she is, kind of the fiddle thing. She's like, "I feel like this ship is older than even when we had proper spacefaring." And again, the kind of like fiddling with things inside there.
From what we've been able to gather, it's thousands of years old.
That's incredible.
We managed to salvage it from Tyurma.
So this is. She's an old Solarian
She
vessel.
yawns.
An old
You're so
Solarian vessel.
boring.
Well, no, the O2 levels in her suit are well enough that she never has to yawn. The oxygen's always there for her brain.
Yawning is a social thing.
It's a reflex.
So, it's difficult, but like when you like see yawning on TV and you're like, "I will not yawn to your fake yawns."
I like yawning on stream and then just thinking, I made someone yawn. Makes me feel good.
Sometimes there's one person in chat who's like, "God damn it, you made me yawn."
Mm-hmm.
And then everything is good.
I like grit my teeth, like, I will not give in to your brain triggers. So, she's like, no, everything looks fine. And again, it's clearly like she's trying to direct conversation and like the health of the ship and checking a whole bunch of things out. She'll actually do that for a solid 45 minutes before she moves on to looking for Icarus.
Before she does that, like, as she's wrapping up and like putting all the panels back, I will just kindly ask her, like, "So, you and Icarus go way back, apparently."
Actually, can you hand me that wrench over there? She says, pointing to a wrench behind you, and starting to remove another panel. I think I just thought of something else that EC worked on.
Winnie, I'm not the most, like, socially
It's okay.
knowledgeable.
I'll get it myself. It just would have been easier if you did it. She walks past and reaches in from behind you and like
I put my hand on it.
on the wrench itself.
Yes.
I'll use this one instead. Takes the one off next to it. That's clearly not the right fit and starts like going over and like climbing into the terminal area. It's like her head
Winnie,
and shoulders are like in there.
For Icarus' sake, I think we need to have a talk.
Yeah, you know what? If you could find him, it'd make things easier. Find it. Make things easier.
Even I can tell, after being at his side for a while, that there's something off.
Yeah, I think one of his eyes, the power wasn't right. We'll fix it.
Oh, come on now, Winnie. You're squirming so hard you're about to fly out the airlock.
when you say that, like kind of like flat out, you hear her drop the wrench and ow, picks it up and it pulls herself out of the hole and says, "I think we need. I'm hungry. Are you hungry? I'm hungry." And like
I look her dead in the eye,
thing
just
open,
a stare.
realizing she's not gonna be able to get out of this in any way whatsoever. She's like trying not to make eye contact with you. One of those like just kind of like looking away, but stands there, not leaving. Terminal still open.
Look, I don't have anything against Icarus. He's been a lot of help so far. But there's something going on. And I would like to know. You can trust me, right? We go back. I trust you with things.
When we went there to destroy the base, right? And while we were going there to destroy the base, we found you, right?
I still remember it, yeah.
And you're not a terrible person. Well, we did find you with a bunch of dead people around you, but you're not a terrible person, and so we saved you because that's the right thing to do, right?
And I've used the time that I've had since to do a lot of stuff that benefited the Alliance and people in general.
And you can agree that if we found any other innocent people that didn't deserve to die there, that they also should have left too. I mean, would have been nice if not everybody had to die, but anybody else should have been allowed to leave, right?
I could see a good case for that, yes.
Good. And then she goes to like walk past you and out the room.
That's fine. There will be more later. We will be on a spaceship for a while.
Terminal's still open, and the kind of like the console part of it is like hanging out by wires halfway to the floor.
I just look at it. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not going to fiddle with it. I would just screw it up.
I'm good. So you go. She goes walking out and goes into the actual like workroom of the ship. And I imagine Icarus isn't there. Icarus is in the survey area, right?
Icarus has never used the workroom.
Yep. So it goes to their workroom.
It's like pristine. It's probably used as like a coffee table.
Carmine, you follow her?
Sorry,
Following her around.
You follow her?
Yeah, I would follow her.
Okay. She goes into the workroom, and when she goes in there, she actually points at like a spot and says, "You can sit right there."
Okay.
And she goes over, she starts grabbing a whole bunch of tools and stuff like that, and starts saying, "Okay, you can remove your jacket."
I cooperate.
Eichler said that he was sent to go and get me, and I'm here to give you a medical examination.
Right.
It's a very unbelievable lie.
Right, yeah.
Listen, hey, Aaron.
Does this in any way have anything to do with Omega in even the slightest amount?
No. What? No. I wanted to see how you were holding up. It's been years since you've been properly looked at, so I wanted to, check things out. You've been in a lot of scraps, it sounds like, based off of what Eichler said. I don't know if she would say scraps.
I keep busy, but that's not the point. If you wanted to do a checkup, you could have just sent a message instead of having Icarus route us from Terra Nova to the Citadel.
I wasn't the one that was looking to give you the checkup. Not originally. Icarus was concerned.
Icarus would have raised that concern with me.
Okay. And she says, "I'm not going to fight with you." And she leaves the tools sitting on the table, like right there that she had pulled out and set up to give you the examination, and walks out of the room and goes to look for Icarus.
I'll try to get JJ to come back to the ship.
She'll actually walk around for a bit when finally she bumps into Constantinia. And so the Turian sees the Quarian walking around on the ship. And as she's walking by, she'll just kind of like wave as she just goes to walk past you. Does Lucinia say anything? Apparently not.
You did.
No.
That's so weird. I give her a nod, and I assume I would have been told she was coming aboard.
No.
Yeah, no.
No?
No.
I mean, I would have probably sent off a pings like Icolus's mother, in
Question
quotations, is here.
Well, as she came aboard the ship, you would have heard, "Welcome." You know what I mean? Welcome, guests to the vessel.
I mean, I would just nod to her and let her continue on.
So she would walk past you, and then she would stop and be like, "Excuse me, I'm looking for Icolus. Where is he?" It.
She points.
Yeah, I point to where he is.
Okay.
It is.
And then goes down that hallway, and I imagine the door's closed. So ding, 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 ding. It's one of those. It's password protected, but she already knew the password. Ding, 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 ding.
Damn it, Ma.
Comes in.
He's a robot who can like process and encrypt 50 billion things, and his password is like Hunter1.
Icolus, I respect your privacy, but as my authority as a mother will still permit me to enter your room.
So she walks in, and he's like all exposed with his hands in his wires. And it's just like,
No, he's just there. He's just
put that
Mother.
So she goes. So she'll come walking into the room. You said Carmine's following behind.
No, I would have let her go. It's like she's going to look for Icolus. I just put on my jacket and like get a drink or something.
Okay.
And I go look for JJ, try and get him to come back to the ship.
Sure. She's gonna say, "Yeah, that didn't go well."
I don't really care if he knows. He's incredibly trustworthy.
Yeah, but he worked for Cerberus.
Never worked for Cerberus.
And
Past tense.
he was against me giving him an examination, so I wasn't even able to check to see if he has bugs on him.
I mean, every human has bugs on them. They have a bunch of microorganisms that live inside them at all times and on them.
Don't remind me. I'm aware humans are the dirtiest of all the races. I'm aware.
Even Vorcha.
Yeah. Vorcha don't need to form symbiotic bonds like that. Their bodies just get used to whatever they come across. Vorcha can handle the environments that they live in. Humans have to have these insects and parasites inside their body to genuinely grossed out by humans because, Quarian.
I wouldn't worry about Carmine.
Now you made me itchy. I feel like scratching at the suit, thinking about all the bugs. But we weren't even able to check to see if he's. I mean, there's some sort of transmitter that's been that's on this vessel. Ding, 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 ding.
That's probably the Solarians that want us to go to their homeworld.
Sends you the information of the transmitter for you to try to look at. I can't decode what it's coming from, but there's clearly a transmitter on here. I'm surprised you didn't pick it up before. Ding, 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 ding. Do you want to take a glance at it?
Yeah, I'll take a glance. Is that decryption?
Please, sir. Please, sir. Okay. So with a decryption check, you can definitely tell that there's something transmitting your location fairly consistently, but you can't pinpoint where it is on the vessel, at least not as of right now.
That's probably the Solarians. We made a deal with a Solarian scientist. We're researching this ancient particle that's meant to be a precursor to another form of life that existed before all life in the galaxy. And he gets really excited and he techno-babbles about it for a bit and explains that like they're kind of technically working for them, but he diverted their route to go and find her because he needed to tell her that Arya said to him that she was looking for her because of his sister. The whole thing.
So she listens to all this stuff, but like she's not super interested in this because it's not like her forte, right?
She's engineering, not chemistry.
Exactly. So she's not super interested. So after like the first minute or so, she kind of like makes her way over to the processor and starts opening it up.
And the two other bodies in the room.
Yeah. Well, it just starts like looking things over and seeing what kind of work you've done so far and making alterations and corrections because you're not the greatest of mechanics. She's, I think, got like a 2 or a 3, and In electronics, and I think you've got the 1, if that.
I got a 0.
A 0, yeah. So I think she has a 2 versus your 0. So
I just get by having cheesy modifiers and situational benefits.
So you guys have this conversation for a while, and after she listens to all of it, she more or less has a response along the lines of, "Oh, that's nice to hear." But once it's all said and done, she's just kind of like, "Well, I don't know if we can." I mean, I don't want to just straight tell him, but I'm terrible at lying. So I'm glad that you trust him, but you also haven't met enough people to know how untrustworthy people can be. That's one of the first things they teach you at the flotilla before you leave, is that the galaxy's full of a bunch of people that are looking to take advantage of you as a Quarian. Well, guess what? The galaxy's full of a bunch of people that are looking to take advantage of you as being the unique person that you are. Most of them just outright want to kill you. Most want to pin me as some sort of a thief or scoundrel, and they would just want to destroy you, erase you, afraid of what you are.
I think I can trust him.
But you're young, and so your judgment is going to be misplaced.
I know everything in the galaxy. I know who I can trust.
You know about as much as you can process at any one point in time from the extranet, which is full of mostly propaganda, lies, and porn.
I do have some questions about that, but not now.
You can see like a sigh of relief. We're having to dodge that bullet.
I can trust him. I don't know about Viturian, and I didn't know about the other human that left, but I can trust him. He escaped from Cerberus. He hates them too.
But hating a human is a very funny thing. They behave strangely. I mean, think of your father and what you know of him.
I behave strangely.
Because you were also partially created by your father.
He just nods. I think good point.
I don't know if you remember this, if you recall this, because I would teach this to you when you were young, but you do remember that you were originally used as a weapon.
I remember.
You had one purpose before, and he was satisfied with that. He was, from what you've described, he was content with your function at that time.
It was accidental, but it was useful, yes.
So let's not go jumping out and trusting members of Cerberus, okay?
Okay.
It's one of those like goes over and gives you like a makeup hug. Like, okay, so show me how you did this, because I love how you integrated the and just like all the different like hodgepodge technology put together there and whatnot, and that you've done to make the thing function well. And Carmine, do you otherwise leave them alone? You just go. No, sorry, Lucinia. Do you otherwise leave them alone?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna have Carmine goes out to go find JJ. You eventually do find JJ. He's literally in the middle of a meeting in a bar with a group of Blue Suns trying to sign on to a job down in this area. So there's a what are they called? You just had dealt with a slaver ship of them.
Krogans?
No, slaver ship. Beginning of the season.
Batarian.
Batarian. Oh my god, thank you. It was like 4 eyes, very sensitive sense of smell. So you, so he's down there having a conversation with a Batarian as you kind of come walking up, and he's like, all right, so what you tell me is that I just need to fly here, and you're gonna pay me how many credits? And he's like, I've already gone over this a few times. I've already gone over this a few times. You'll get your credits when the job is done. My voice is cracking because it's been all fucked up for like 2 weeks. It's like, you get half up front and half at the end. It's a good deal. Don't be stupid, Solarian. Take the deal. And he's like, and so the Solarian is literally outreaching his hand to take the deal from this Batarian as you are able to interrupt their carbine. It's good that you didn't interrupt, though. You know what I mean? Like, he walks over, and the nightclub is so loud we can't even hear you.
You're muted. That's the sass.
God's sake.
Sass. Scott doesn't just.
No, I would have walked up. I would have put my
around.
hand on his hand and prevented him from shaking it and told him that he is not looking to take that deal right now.
As soon as you do that, the Batarian stands up, seeing this human approach, clearly how you're dressed and armed and so on and so forth, sees this human approach, and you see 3 other people, like, seeing him get up. They also stand up, have their weapons out and at the ready and everything. And bores, so after looking at you, bores eyes into the Solarian and says, "You try to set me up with the Alliance?" And just kind of like holds his hand up, giving a signal, and you see the other 3 draw their weapons and start pointing them at you. And he's like, not even sure how to respond. He's like looking over to you because he's just like, shit, I was about to get a deal, and then you just completely fucked it up. What do you say, Carmine?
Trust me, if I was still with the Alliance, you wouldn't even be alive anymore. I'm here for the Solarian, not for you. Mind your own business.
He looks just one of you. You can clearly tell he's looking across the room to see if you have any backup with you. That's very obvious to you. Do you say anything?
No.
Okay. So when he doesn't see anybody that seems to be on your side, he turns and says, "I'm about to make a deal with him. Why don't we let him decide?" Excuse me, sorry, yawn. And so he actually responds, kind of looks a little sheepish, looks over at you and says, "Oh,
sorry.
You'll be fine." He looks a little. It's like a techno problem day today for several of us.
Yeah.
So he looks a little sheepish, looks over at you and says, "Well, he is offering me credits." Like talking about the Batarian.
I look at the Batarian for half a second. Yes, and the chance is even more likely that they'll try to just get you killed so that they have to pay less.
That's not how we
You
do
remember
things
the part where we saved your life?
Well, my life was put in danger because of the fact that you were the one that was there to kill them. Like, you were there to kill. Like, you were the one putting my life into danger.
I went through a lot of extra trouble to make sure that you got out of there alive.
But you were the one that put me in trouble in the first place. You put a lot of extra trouble into the work that you were doing to get me in
definitely
trouble.
put yourself in trouble with Arya. I just helped you get out of there.
When you say that, the guy says, "You working for Arya?"
I just look at him and tell him, back off. You don't want to interfere.
Nods. Says, he nods, just kind of like makes a gesture to the crew of people behind him, and he turns and he walks out of the room.
I just look at JJ. You're with me. We can talk compensation later.
He's like, "How did that even work? We're not even on the... We are a galaxy's length away from... What the..." Very upset with the fact that he did not just get... Oh. And so you guys go walking back to the ship, and he is not very happy with you right now. But walks with you back...
I'm going to marry him off. It's fine.
Goes walking with you back to the ship. When you guys get back to the ship and get back on board, I'm sure Lucinia wasn't worried even in the least bit about any of this. The 2 of them stay inside their room and are doing what they do. Eventually you go to take off. And so go on and prepare yourselves to take off. As you guys do so, heading back towards the Solarian homeworld, you of course have him sitting inside the pilot's chair, but you're also going to have... because you obviously stay where you are all the time, Michaelis. You're actually going to have Winnie is going to be joining over inside the area as well, sitting in the sensors chair.
I often go in the bridge when we're actually flying somewhere for the fun bits.
She takes your seat, unless you ask her for it back.
No, you can't. When your mum sits somewhere, you can't move her.
Mom.
She gets priority.
And then the last seat, of course, goes to what's her name? Tremi. Nope. God damn it.
No,
Torian.
she's definitely not here right now. Would you like to leave a message?
Definitely not here. And so the last scene, of course, goes to Lucinia, and it's the first time I screwed it up the entire session. I've been going back and forth between first and last name to not screw up, because I've been like on the verge of saying Tremi this entire Tremelia, no. So you guys go and take your seat, you launch, and make your way all the way over to Anos Basin. When you get there, it's very easy. Of course, as soon as your ship gets within an area, you start getting docking, tick, 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 docking signals saying that you're able to go and land your vessel, and you're approaching that planet to go land there. However, as you approach that planet to land there, Ollie, make me a perception intelligence check, please, for your sensor.
I definitely have my character sheet open and wasn't preparing because you said we might end quite soon.
Yep.
I was expecting this to end 20 minutes ago,
Yeah,
actually,
I definitely
before the whole
didn't
talk
nearly
with Winnie.
close Roll20 because it surely should be over.
3 hours. This is the 3rd hour.
I mean,
But
I don't mind.
It's
but-
20 past.
Yeah. But that's because it started late and long breaks. And,
That's true.
yeah. Okay, so what you do detect, however, is there are actually 2 vessels approaching you very quickly. Both of them are light frigates. Both of them are of human craft. They're approaching you very, very quickly as you're here. A quick scan of them shows that they are not, like a visual scan of them, shows no Alliance insignia, no Alliance make whatsoever. However, you do have these crafts coming at you very, very quickly. And so, knowing that you have a pincer tactic of vessels coming towards you, we are actually going to end the session.
Oh, really? I didn't know we were going to end early this week.
Oh, I wanted to shoot them.
Oh, shucks. Oh, why is it that these humans are attacking you? Who knows? Ooh. All right. Rick, who are you? How can we find you?
Hi, my name is Rick. I do things online as Derb Digital on YouTube, Twitch, and sometimes even Twitter. Currently, things are on a bit of a hiatus. Life is, once again veering on the edge of not being so fun, so I'm going to be distracted by that. Videos, possibly soon. I don't know. We'll have to find out together. That's pretty much it for me at the moment.
Ollie.
I'm Ollie. Ollie around in some of the places. In 2 hours, well, an hour and a half, I am your normal Yarmskia show is on hiatus for probably forever. So we're doing a different campaign set in the ancient history of Yarmskia, where the party is going to fight a lich, a little short adventure before I actually run Stars of Outnumber. It's going to be better. It's going to be bigger. It's going to be more Ollie. It's going to be more sex scenes. Not just mind sex, real sex. Those were like separate points. There shouldn't be. Don't bullet point that way. You'll fail your essay. So definitely go to twitch.tv/OllieRant in like an hour and a half. Woo! Because they're going to be fighting a lich, and that's always good.
I'm still on the side that we should just befriend the lich. Aaron.
That's a possibility. That's how alternative timelines get made.
I'm still on the side that we should just befriend the lich. Like, why? I mean, I'll serve the lich.
I don't know quite what I wrote on my character sheet. I think I wrote like chaotic neutral, maybe evil, meh.
Yeah,
like,
meh.
meh.
I did it 2 in the morning after a few beers. No problem.
My name's Erin. I'm here on Wednesdays. I am also here on Fridays. I'm really tired, so I'm gonna go take a nap now. Bye.
Alrighty. And I am Delric. I am going to go mow the lawn. Bye.
That may be an innuendo.